When you get a chance, you should check out the last 30 minutes of my Whick panel. Oh. All right, let's take a look at these Whick guys.
Okay, first, Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, but we did not agree. While we agreed there was normative loading, we did not agree that there's normative loading such that it goes against religious beliefs. The normative loading,
especially for the gay uncle book. But
to me, the normative loading is about respect and acceptance, which my understanding of major religions out there is that is core in almost all of them. And if it is not one that I particularly care about us protecting. I do not believe that there's an interest in us protecting religions that exclude people I'm sorry, you could, what? Are you going to tell me that you can that a racial if there was a racially charged religion? Do you think there's a racially charged religion? You think there's a religion based on racial superiority? If the Mormon cult, as it originally started, revived itself such that they believed that black people's souls were less valuable than white people's souls, and they showed up and said, "You can't teach my child that all men were created equal," you think that the government should allow those people to opt out?
I think it's mask off that you said that you can be the judge of which religions are worth protecting under the Constitution.
Hold on. Everyone stop. I think
the people want.
I'm not done addressing what you said before.
Hold on. Everyone, please, for the love of God, because he asked you a question, and I do want you to answer it. If there was a Nazi religion or something, or let's use
there's one that existed, Mormons, right? The original text of the Mormons.
It's a little different. I grew up Mormon, right? So it's not exactly as you.
Let's stick with that example,
right? But let's go with it. Okay, yeah, they came up and you know what? I don't think you should be teaching my kid that black people and white people are the same, and I want to opt out from you reading this book that shows them as the same. Should that be allowed for the parent to be able to opt out from that?
Well, there is a sincerity test that it's not much litigated because it's essentially given as a granted.
Just grant that they are very sincere.
So we're granting that they are sincere.
Yes.
And are we granting that there is what religion are we saying this is? Is
the
this a make-believe religion?
Fundamentalist Mormons.
This is a hypothetical religion?
Fundamentalist Mormons.
This is Mormons.
Back in the day had the mark of Cain, right? They believed that black people did not, there's a few different theories, but one of the major theories I've heard growing up was that some people believed that because in the pre-existence, in the war in heaven, certain souls didn't fight as valiantly as other souls, and so they were put into the bodies of black people, basically. That was a real belief that they had and that they sincerely held. Again, if a parent that believed that sincerely was like, I think that this undermines my religion. I don't want you teaching that black people are the same and equal to white people. They sincerely held it. Do you think that the government should force the school district to allow that parent to opt out?
Probably, yeah. Like that's what.
Okay.
That's what. I don't think the First Amendment is based on the quality of the religion. I don't think there's anything in the text that says that we only favor good religions. In fact, to be totally candid with you, the kind of fundamentalist Islamic beliefs that are at issue in this case are deeply offensive to me. Like, there are many tenets of that particular faith that I find offensive. That has not stopped me from representing clients. In fact, litigating at the Supreme Court in defense of Muslim clients' religious rights, though I disagree with them. And it would not stop me from litigating in favor of a client who had a religious belief that I found to be personally abhorrent.
To be fair to Ryan, he's biting the bullet is what Ryan is doing here. He's biting the bullet.
Can I have an opportunity to bite a bullet as well?
Okay, and then we're going to give it back to Kafka to finish his point. Sorry.
Well, I'm going to bite the bullet, but then I don't want to get distracted as to the mask-off moment that just happened, because Ryan was in the middle going through that when he ended with that very provocative question to kind of capture the attention towards that. The question is, like, Mormons assume, because this is, by the way, since abandoned belief of Mormons. So let's assume that we're talking about specifically, like, if any of them exist, Mormons that do sincerely hold this belief, or I guess going back, you'd probably find more of them. Yeah, I do think that they should be able to opt their children out of that. I do think that's a religious conviction. I do think that they should have the right to opt out. And I think that it's very telling, that we would answer this because, of course, we're approaching this from sort of like principled legal perspective. Meanwhile, right, I think you very specifically said, you have no interest in protecting religions that you deem to be intolerant. Well, it doesn't matter what your interest is. The question here is, what does the law protect? And does the law protect people's right to practice their religions and the parents to direct the religious upbringing of their children? I know, maybe you don't have an interest in protecting, maybe you wouldn't represent them. Maybe you don't have an interest in protecting religions that you find to be abhorrent. For me, I find a lot of religions to be abhorrent. But that, again, the Constitution protects religious belief, point blank.
And just to put a bow on that, this is in the context of the First Amendment. I mean, imagine how crazy it would be if someone said, I only think the First Amendment protects speech that I think is good speech. This is the First Amendment we're talking about. Like, it is designed to protect people whose beliefs are considered abhorrent by the majority. That is what it is for.